Little by little, they would get ready in the ministry and leave the church as a minister, missionary somewhere in the field. And I would stay there all the time with a brother by the name of Lofe. I don't think there's anybody left at that time. So an old man by the name of Lofe used to play guitar. I used to sit there by him playing guitar and see people coming and going, coming and going, and I would be there with him, and I would say to myself, well, I guess I'll be here till I'm old like that guy. Because I never did anything except work in the church, paint these walls, paint downstairs, repair the roof. And one day, it was, I believe, in the early 1961. Now, the searching the minute from Brooklyn. Joel is instrumental to Brooklyn. I met him over the phone. And I got to liken to him for two reasons. His voice over the phone sounded like a very good friend of mine that I lost track of. And then another thing is that I like his spirit, his ambition, the way he talks. And ever since I knew him, he would tell me that if I were to write a book, the history of Royal Rangers, to put it exactly how it happened. That don't cut anything out, say the truth, and that it should be written the way it happened, without trying to please no one. When you swallow it hard. At the district level, I was speaking about this to two district leaders, and one would tell me, write the book the way it happened, and the other one said, don't write no book. You know, and they kept going back and forth. And then when I went to leave the door, the one that said, don't write the book, came up to the door with me and said, Johnny, please don't write the book. But let me tell you something. I think I deserve to give the history the way it happened, because I went through a hardship at the beginning. And it's good that the people know, even though I went through a hardship, I stood fast. Amen. And I didn't allow no one to tell me that Royal Rangers couldn't exist. I was told at the beginning that the Royal Ranger ministry is not made for Hispanics. That we would never be able to have the boys do what the Anglo-Americans do. And I told them they were wrong. And some of them quit, some of them I asked to leave when I saw that they didn't have their heart in the ministry. But I kept fast and I kept working the way I thought God was leading me. I got advice from the national office. It's true that I've been in touch with them since 1962. But prior to that, it was in 1961 when Ana Manuel Valentin came up to me and told me, John, I want you to take charge of the boys of this church. And the reason why, we had Boy Scouts here. And the Boy Scout leader was caught doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing in Coney Island, and he was arrested. Okay, when the pastor found out, the pastor dismissed us and asked me to start some ministry for the boys, but I told him I'll do anything except Boy Scouts. The only reason I had Boy Scouts, the only reason why I said that was because before the war, I used to belong to brigades. They were in Atlantic Avenue, the Gate Street, no, on Gate Street and Bushwick Avenue. They were there. I was a member of the brigades. We dressed like West Point, and every night, Friday night, we used to cross with Boy Scouts from America, and we used to hold on bomb subjects. When he was Boy Scout. So that's the only hang-up I had about them. But nevertheless, I started something with my wife. And then being that I just recently had the Yahweh, I said, well, I know drilling how to drill, so we'll put them to march. And we started putting them to march. We got them in the uniform. We have some pictures of the first boys in uniform. And then we invited the churches of the San Jesus District to come and see what's going on in LA. Once they came here, they saw we put a demonstration for them. They went out and they started Christian cadets. We call them Christian cadets. Again, Oil was one of the boys that came at that time to that meeting. Then, when Christian Cadets started, about the same year in October, I was told by Juan Custodio, who lives in Rochester now, that somebody that God was starting the Royal Ranger ministry. I didn't like the name because it was Royal Rangers. It reminded me of the West. And we're here in the East. We're no cowboys, you know? So then nevertheless, I said, if the Assemblies of God is coming up with a ministry for boys, Royal Rangers, and we are Assemblies of God, we have to follow them and submit ourselves to them. So I did that immediately after being chartered with the Christian Cadets. I went and I started working with Royal Rangers. I started working in early '62 as we broke out. By April, we were chartered. That's when I started having a lot of trouble with the other churches, which now wanted to keep Christian Cadets and not Royal Rangers. Okay? Then they would use later on, they changed the name to Royal Rangers, but never accepted the ministry, the program that the Royal Rangers had. And for 6 years, we had that battle. And for 6 years, I tried to convince the district office to take charge and establish a district commander so he could lead. And I wasn't looking for no position. I just wanted to see Royal Rangers in our district. At the end of the 6 years, when some of the guys that were leading and going back and forth, and they wanted me to help them get established with leadership training board, but would never accept the kind of drill the kind of training that we wanted to give them. They were concentrating only on marching. I decided to get away from them, not waste my time with them, but it so happened that I don't know what happened to the guy who was leaving. He disappeared. He went out of the picture, and then Reverendo Carrion called me and asked me if I would accept to be a district commander. I said, well, if you want to, the will of God, I would accept it. And then in July, I accepted to be a district commander of the San Francisco district. I was appointed in July in the convention. And one of the challenges he gave me was that if you are going to be the district commander of Spanish-speaking church, then you better learn how to speak Spanish now. So I turned around and I told him, I'm going to learn how to speak Spanish better, but I'm going to also demand from you. I need your support, and I'm going to demand it from you. So then I struggled, and not too long after that, my Spanish got getting better. Now I was speaking Spanish in convention, and I found what they call the ley parlamentaria, you know, and people were surprised to see how I picked it up so fast. As a matter of fact, I did know Spanish, but you didn't want to hear my Spanish. The reason why I learned so fast is because of my wife, and her sister Gloria helped me with that. Now, once I learned Spanish, I was able to communicate with the churches and pastors, and I was able to win pastors. With the great God helped me to get pastors to support me and work with me. And some of the pastors at that time was Juan Cortez. He's here with us, and which later on became the presbyter of the district and also a pastor of the Iglesia Primera. And we created a friendship that we still hold.